Nigeria's capital market regulator, the Securities and Exchange Commission Nigeria, says more than $50 billion in cryptocurrency trades flowed through Nigeria between July 2023 and June 2024, highlighting a major shift in investor behavior. Meanwhile, fewer than 4% of Nigerian adults are invested in the formal capital market, leaving the sector with under 3 million participants. The SEC views this divergence as a serious obstacle to capital formation, financial inclusion, and long-term economic growth. Ola Atose, the CEO of KoinKoin, joins me now, and it's great to have you in the studio.
Good to be here.
Yes, yes. So, I mean, looking at what's happening, we heard the SEC DG highlight it, and obviously some concerns there.
Of course.
We'll get to whether or not he should be concerned, but we're seeing crypto trading prevail more than capital markets. Why is that? What factors are driving that?
So I guess the question is crypto trading part of capital markets, or is it something completely different? I think traditional finance, which we can say capital markets is a part of, isn't easily accessible to the general public, and it's perhaps seen as something for a particular part of society. It isn't necessarily the case, but those markets, I would say, could do a lot more to reach the very young population that Nigeria is. As far as cryptocurrency is concerned, or digital assets, if you like, a number of companies are doing a lot of work to reach people where they are. And dare I say, as we move forward, we expect to see even bigger numbers year on year. When we see the 2024 to 2025 numbers, we'll see that they're even larger than the 50 billion that's been reported already.
And we'll get to that 50 billion. So you're saying the issue is more with accessibility to the market, even after all the processes, digitization, it's still somewhat...
Well, I mean, I think what we can find and what we will start to see is a lot of what capital markets offers, whether it's T-bills or equities. We will start to see tokenization of those products once they get tokenized, and it's actually started on some platforms, and they're available on the cryptocurrency centralized exchanges where we're seeing a lot of this activity. We think that will even drive certainly more capital into your traditional capital market.
Your traditional, it's our traditional capital market.
I use it as a language.
I understand. So yes, like you have pointed out, they've put a figure to it, 50 billion passed through cryptocurrency, in just 1 year. How did they determine that figure? Is there a methodology around that? Was it
so there are firms like chain analysis is what they're called, which gather information on what's going on in each jurisdiction. I can say, well, the information they've recently gathered, 2024 to 2025 across the entire sub-Saharan region actually saw 205 billion, of which I know Nigeria is just above a quarter of all of that, being the largest market in the region. So, chain analysis is one way, and I'm sure that SEC also have a number of exchanges that maybe are operating on the license or otherwise reporting in figures. So they probably have other ways of getting that information.
And I know the huge number may be good for some, good news for some, but it's concern for others, and questions around regulation. Not everybody warms up to the issue of regulation, but are there regulatory gaps that are allowing such huge sums to pass through the system, or is it even a problem?
Well, I mean, we've always, spoken out for the need for there to be a robust framework in this space. And luckily for us, SEC invited us a while ago to register. SEC does have a framework to ensure that there's some sort of control, some, risk-based control on the space. But I think, yes, there is a need for more than just, what SEC has been doing. We're certainly eager to see some harmonization across the entire space, across all regulators in Nigeria to come in and assist to make sure we're all on the same page, to ensure any risk that does exist is managed effectively and, decreased, if you like. So I'm confident that SEC's on the right foot. But I'm certainly eager to hear from some of the other agencies as well.
Right. And again, going back to the capital market, you have spoken about that briefly and the need for there to be more, for it to be more accessible. Retail investors are not as engaged. The numbers, even though the sum may be increasing, the number of people engaged in in the capital market and not as much. So what does that imply? What are the implications of this, especially for capital formation and economic growth?
Well, I mean, you mentioned 3 million as the number. I mean, Nigeria is a country of how many? 180 million or 220? I don't know what the actual number is, but 3 million is a very small number. And I just think that traditional capital markets, have their work cut out for them to try and penetrate, this, the tech-savvy youth, if you like, or perhaps make, some of what is on offer easily accessible, not necessarily just through, traditional sort of, banks or, fund managers or asset managers, but perhaps through, platforms which offer, apps, through fintech. I think that will sort of, give them a leg up, and they can certainly see what's going on with cryptocurrency, and they can follow that lead to penetrate, I think, that youth-based demographic. Yeah.
Hopefully we see that happen. Market capitalization is pushing 100 trillion, I think we're at the, right?
In terms of 100
market
trillion
cap.
yes.
Mm-hmm. So looking at market cap to GDP and comparing it with other emerging economies, where does Nigeria stand?
Well, we're lagging behind, to be honest. Given where our GDP is, I would say that we could potentially be doing a lot more. And my personal view is that, with a little bit more be done on the technology side and the push, I think that gap can be closed very quickly, personally. I think we could easily do a lot more than we're doing. And just with, again, just a little push, and this is the opportunity in this space. Anyone who's listening, this is an opportunity. Get involved, do something in fintech, and I'm sure, you'll get good value and good
fintech,
results.
Right.
Yeah.
So everyone has a role to play in this, right? SEC, the regulator, is also key in this. What major steps, right, do they need to take to improve capital market participation?
Well, I think, we should, I wouldn't say there are complications involved around capital markets. There's a need for understanding. We typically say that we're not financial advisors, and we advise everybody to try and have an understanding of what they're getting involved in before they get involved in it. But ultimately, I think the onus is on SEC to perhaps, work with its participants and basically come up with maybe a 12-point sort of, engagement plan on how, the tech-savvy youth, of which there's millions of us, if I can include myself in that group, to find a way to reach out to us, to get us engaged. And again, as it is with crypto, you don't necessarily have to have 100,000 naira. You could have 1,000 naira and get involved in crypto, and this is what makes it exciting.
Indeed. Crypto, huge numbers, a lot of activity in Nigeria. Might be a good thing, but are there also any risks involved, especially when it comes to financial stability and currency risk in Nigeria?
Well, we've seen a stable naira for a number of months now, and I think that's very encouraging. We're also aware that the reserves of our country, have gone up significantly. So it's good to see a stronger naira, and it shows that something's working presently, and that's exciting for all of us. Yes, there are some risks. We don't want a situation where we see over-dollarization of our economy, and that's certainly something that we're well aware of, and we do everything we can to, including creating a tiering system that manages the flow of naira into dollar-based assets, of course. But at the same time, we're eager and keen to work with some of the regulatory bodies to ensure that, dollarization doesn't become a thing, and systemic risk to the naira isn't a continuous issue. Here in Nigeria. So that's something that we're cognizant of, and it's certainly something which I feel that the wider community, especially with digital assets, are aware of, and we're all working to make sure, there is stability, continued stability in this space. So, yeah.
Engagement, collaboration.
Indeed.
Like the sound of that. Ola Atose, the CEO of KoinKoin, thank you for your time on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
A pleasure.
Thank you very much.